And so
This meeting is being recorded.
we are going to again take the time and have this conversation. We have today um, a teacher from the Cotati-Rohnert Park Unified School District, and this is Mr. Joaquin Bernal. Thank you again for taking the time and being with us this afternoon. And the goal here is that we can educate the community as to what's going on in the Cotati-Rohnert Park School District and the teachers union in the same district. It sounds like you've been having some negotiations, but unfortunately they are not leading to any resolution that is favorable to you all. If you can educate us again, what is going on? Why should the community get involved?
Well, thanks for having us, Rafael. Thanks for letting me voice out and give the public some heads up in Spanish and in English. So just to give you a quick summary, these negotiations started in May. We sent stuff out to the district. We heard a little. Told us, hey, we need some time. So we didn't hear back until June and saying, hey, we need a little bit more time. There was personnel issues. But then in August, we get an offer and we send it back because it was not respectful. And then in September was the last offer we got. We've gone to mediation and we're heading into fact finding later this month. Through this whole time with negotiations, the district is able to reach out with us with an offer, but we go crickets. We go times with not hearing anything from them. Okay. We go to board meetings. Like I work with an awesome group of teachers. They do a lot of things here. I'm talking about the bargaining team and the e-board, not my other colleagues, although they do amazing things too. And they've done it for 2 years with no contract. Because mind you, our CBA is expired. It expired in 2020. So we're not even working with a contract currently. And we do it through the graces. No one has stopped working either. We show up digitally, in person. We're here for the community. A lot of us, this is our home now. Some of us, we grew up here. But we've gotten to a still point and we need some help because anytime we reach out to our school board, we hear crickets or we don't even get a response. But maybe if we get more public, then they'll have to answer to them because they serve the public. We're a public education, so we're hoping that you can help us out. And I'm here to answer whatever you got for me.
Definitely. So I want to clarify a couple of things. You are a member of the union, and the union is what has brought us what we call the weekend. In the past, before unions, right, people were working 7 days a week, 12 to 14-hour shifts. Children were not going to school because they were working, so on and so forth. The union, and people had to die. People don't understand this historical piece, but people had to die for the union to exist. Some people, out of ignorance, will blame the unions. Oh, they just want more money. They just want this and that. The reality is, what are they offering you? And so compared to other districts, are you making a comparable amount of money?
So we'll start with the comparing other districts. One of the flyers we have out to our public, to our parents, and we'll be passing them out. Every school site is doing that. I forgot to mention that in Spanish too. But compared to the state average for teachers is $84,000. Here in Rohnert Park, you start out at $68,000. If we look at it by the county, we make roughly $10,000 less than someone in Santa Rosa or Petaluma. So what attracts a new teacher? If I could get this is what's happening, what I've seen in the last 5 years. I've seen a lot of new teachers come into our district. We nurture them for 2 years. We have them clear their credential, and then they go bye-bye because some of us that are here encourage them to go, hey, go test the water, man. Go make that money because they're struggling just to be here. Mm-hmm. And what's scarier to me, and like Ms. Denise, our union president, has brought this up to the school board. She works with teachers at Rancho who grew up in Rohnert Park, and now they're having to decide to leave home. Like this place brought me in and took me in, so this is home for me. But I couldn't imagine not being able to teach in the town I grew up in. Like, to me, that's insane. And that shouldn't be something that's allowed. I get emotional because they took me in. Like, I'm not from here. I'm from a little town in the Central Valley of Livingston. People may have heard of that. But I was 18, and people took me in from this town. Like, So to me, we need teachers to stay. I have a 2.5-year-old. I need good teachers. I need these young teachers to stay. He needs those teachers later in life.
Mhm.
So this is why we're here. We're trying to get that information out there. And the thing is, there's money. The state of California is pumping more money into education than ever before. Cotati-Rohnert Park is one of the few districts in the United States that actually has an enrollment increase. Most districts are losing kids and have lost kids. We are the other way. We've got an influx of students. That has been brought up at multiple board meetings and has been acknowledged by our school board and people in our district. But then why doesn't it trickle down to the pay that you offer your teachers? And like when we're talking about teacher pay, we're also talking about our custodians, our teacher assistants, our librarians, our technology people in our district, because we're all under that umbrella. We might be separate unions, but we're all under.
Mhm.
And I think that's what people don't understand, is that that's where the power of unions is, in the collective of the people.
Definitely. Collective bargaining is the way
Yeah.
to succeed, right? When
Yeah.
sometimes what they do is they separate you so that then you don't have that power. Now, you've been working on this for a while. The school district, again, how much are they really offering you? Because we,
Okay.
for anybody who knows anything about economics, we understand that the cost of living goes up by a minimum of 1.6% every year. We know
Okay.
that
So I'm gonna take.
inflation, yeah,
I'm gonna
inflation
take.
has created a problem over the last year, really. It has gone up by about 7% just in a short period of time. I think it's the last quarter. And as a result of that, that means that that dollar that you used to have 6 months ago now can only buy you 93 cents worth of anything. How much are they offering you?
Okay, so I'm glad you broke down those numbers. And can you come talk in my school board meeting? Can you talk to our financial officer? Because you broke down some money and I think he needs that info. All right, so the last and best offer we got was in September. And the last offer was a 2% increase for the year. So like if you look at someone at my years of service and where I'm at the column, it's roughly like $200, but that's before taxes. So after taxes, I might get 2 fuel tanks. Okay, if you think about it. Plus, there's an offset of $2,000 bonus off schedule. But those bonuses don't really help teachers after for retirement, right? We want that so it continues year to year.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between offering someone 2% and a bonus where you could offer a 4% or a 5%, because that carries over year to year. That helps me in the long run. That makes me go, hey, I want to get this money involved, right? I think that's something we need, that isn't looked on, and that's something that our members have asked for. I only represent myself and 314 other educators, and they've asked for a multi-year deal. And time again, we get a 1-year deal. Denise could fill you in and tell you she's been part of this, the union in the bargaining team and e-board a lot longer than I have. And she's gone through this process too. It wears you as a teacher because you're working and then also coming and doing this kind of work. But then you also look at it and go, wait, as a whole collective, we need this. And this is why we do union work.
Definitely. And so we have Denise. Denise, welcome. Thank you for taking the time and coming over, joining us in this conversation. Again, we're talking about the Cotati-Rohnert Park School District and the inability to come to an agreement. It sounds from what our colleague Joaquin has shared with the community right now that they're only offering 2%. They're offering you a bonus that doesn't help towards retirement. And there has been really no talk or negotiation for a couple of months at least. What should the community, what else should the community know, Denise, in regards to, what can the community, more than anything, what can they do to support you at this moment?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having Ripsia here. Oh my goodness, Joaquin is one of our star teachers and he's just throwing it down tonight. Really appreciate that. Something that the community, like what we are doing is we are working for the community, right? So if we are pushing wages for teachers, we are affecting the learning conditions for our students. I am so proud to be in this community because number one, our teachers have our students at the heart of everything that they do. And so, but at one point, like, what are you going to do? I mean, we cannot keep up, as you said, with the consumer price index. There is money coming from the state. And so where is it? And so what we need from our community is to get involved, have dialogue, have conversations, talk with those that are in the schools about their working conditions. Because if we, I mean, you know, as you said, like collective bargaining, it is for the good of the community. This is not just for, you know, teachers. This is for everybody. So it would be helpful. I think one thing is you could go back and watch the district YouTube channel and look at what teachers have been sharing in public comment. Any kind of phone call, any kind of emailing to the board. The board is our elected officials and responsible for more than 400, 600 employees in this district. And they need to be responsible for the public money that they are in charge of. I think as a community, we got to come together. We've been through a whole lot, right? And we need to come together and raise this up for everybody. We need to dialogue. We need to push, because it doesn't matter if it's the teachers union. What it matters is if anybody gets, I mean, what is wrong with asking to have a living wage? What is wrong with that? And if that happens with teachers, it's going to happen for everybody. So this is really, we are watching the labor movement wake up, and we all need to be part of that. We are part of the North Bay Justice as well, and North Bay Jobs for Justice, and that has been a campaign for the farm workers as well. So we are all working together. In Sonoma County, things are happening. They're happening nationally. We need to dig in.
Definitely. And so reminding the community, you can go to crpusd.org, and right there you can click immediately in the menu and you can find the Board of Trustees. Their email addresses are all there. I see that there is multiple members of the board. We have the board president and several trustees. There are 3 trustees from what I can tell, 4, and the board president. And so you have that. And as we mentioned in Spanish, the Cotati-Rohnert Park Unified School District main line is 707-792-4700. 707-792-4700. And Joaquin was letting us know that there is an upcoming board meeting, and Joaquin was inviting the community, parents, students, former students to show up and voice their opinion during public speaking.
Grandma, aunts. I said this last month, Rafael, and I said it in Spanish, and people have been asking me, hey, can you translate it? So I'm going to say it here in English. But this is what I said in Spanish at last board meeting, okay? If there has ever been a teacher in the Rohnert Park Cotati Unified School District that has worked with your child, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew, after school hours, that means after 3 o'clock, and they made a difference in your person's life, we need you there on the 18th. We need you to be present. Now the teacher that helped your child needs your help, because we're not getting the attention or even the respect we deserve, and we need your help. Because maybe, just maybe, if the public shows up, the school board will open their eyes and go, oh, these people do have something here.
And
so that's what we said.
Something that would be helpful is that if we could have parents and students, if they write or add into public comment, is to ask that, like, we need a multi-year deal. We cannot keep coming back to the table and begging for scraps. We need to be reprioritized into the budget so that we can get to the business of what we really need to do. And that's like focusing on our kiddos.
Definitely. Yeah, and again, there are teachers out there in Sonoma County. I've heard the stories from students. I remember a student from a certain school district. I will not mention it out of respect, but the student had turned 21 and was celebrating his 21st birthday. And many of them go out there to bars and just, it's just an experience. It's a rite of passage, as they call it. And the student was going to order a drink, and then he noticed that the bartender was his teacher, his former teacher. And he said he felt so ashamed that the teacher actually had to work as a bartender as a second job. He had never found out before that day, but he found out, and they had this conversation. And the teacher finally said, look, based on what I get paid, in order to live in this county and be a good teacher to you like I try to be, I had to have a bartender job every night for the last 18 years. And then there was another student recently that communicated with me that he called an Uber. And when the Uber got there, it was his teacher, his current teacher, I think it was a government teacher or econ teacher, who was working as an Uber driver. And they had the same conversation. So, like, you're just trying to make a lot of money for retirement. It's like, no, I just don't make enough. And this is what I have to do. And he said that the teachers appeared to be ashamed that the community didn't know how little he was getting paid. And again, that he has to have a second job just to be able to put food on the table. And so it's important as a community to realize that we need to have the dialogue about, is my teacher making an appropriate amount of money, right? Because if my teacher is tired from working in the morning, going to work all night at a different job, and coming the next morning, right, half asleep, doing their best, but the reality is the cost of living and inflation and all of these factors are a reality that needs to be taken into consideration. And so the union here is asking the community to contact the Board of Trustees of the Cotati-Rohnert Park School District. You can send them an email, you can call their office, you can show up to this meeting. Joaquin, if you can remind us the date, the time, and the location.
It's Tuesday, January 18th. It's at the Cotati High School in their tag building. Come check out the awesome theater that your taxpayer money paid for. We start at 5:30, and we would definitely love you there at 6 o'clock for the public comment. And if you have some words of encouragement for us, let the board know. We wear red, and just or show up with red. Bring a friend, and we appreciate your support. And again, thank you, Rafael, for your time.
Definitely. Thank you to both of you, Joaquin Bernal and Denise, for taking the time and being with us this afternoon here on KBBF Bilingual Radio. As always, we upload the videos later on YouTube. We share them on Facebook. We share them in different locations. And the goal here is that the community is aware. To be honest, and I am ashamed of myself for not knowing that you have been struggling with this until recently when we had a conversation with a member of the union. And that's why we decided to invite you over, because we need to make people aware of the struggle that you are going through. So thank you for taking the time and being with us this afternoon here with us at KBBF. And I look forward to future updates on whatever is happening over there.
Rafael, you let us know when you need us back on. We'll hop on anytime.
Hopefully,
okay?
Hopefully next time we are meeting here and updating the community, hopefully will be a celebration for everybody. So thank you for taking the time and being here.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. Muchas gracias.
Bye-bye.
Feliz año, Rafael. Gracias.